Welcome back to my channel. Today we're delving into the intriguing history of Meigs Field, the iconic airport located right in the heart of Chicago. For those of you who are flight simulator fans, this airport name may sound familiar. The reason for this is that Meigs was the default airport for the Microsoft Flight Simulator series until Microsoft Flight Simulator 2004. However, it was completely removed in Flight Simulator X. Few airports hold as much nostalgia, familiarity, and emotion for aviation enthusiasts. Located on the shores of Lake Michigan, Meigs Field operated as the gateway to corporate Chicago for over half a century. The airport was built on a peninsula where the World Exhibition was held in 1933. The official opening took place on December 10, 1948. 2 years later, the airport was officially renamed Mayor C. Meigs Field. Shortly after, the airport became very popular thanks to its excellent location, just adjacent to downtown Chicago. Travelers could move from the city center to the airport in well under an hour, beating out the distance to O'Hare and Midway. Meigs Field was home mainly to general aviation aircraft and corporate jets. By the 1970s, Meigs Field became also a critical facility for the aeromedical transport of patients and transplant organs to downtown hospitals. However, some regular passenger services were operating from the airport as well. For example, airlines such as Great Lakes Airlines and Transstates Airlines operated services for United and TWA, respectively. Within a decade, Meigs Field became the busiest single-strip airport in the United States in terms of flight operations. The interesting fact is that there were scheduled passenger helicopter flights available between Meigs Field and Chicago O'Hare Airport and Chicago Midway Airport at different times over the years. From the late 1950s to the late 1960s, Chicago Helicopter Airways operated 12-seat Sikorsky S-58C helicopters, with frequent flights to both O'Hare and Midway. On October 15, 1992, a Boeing 727-100 jetliner donated from United Airlines to the Chicago Museum of Science and Industry made its final landing at Meigs. It was the biggest jet to ever land here. In 1994, Chicago Mayor Richard Daley announced plans to close the airport and build a park in its place. 2 years later, in 1996, the Chicago Park District, which owned the land, refused to renew the lease for Meigs Fields. This resulted in the airport closure from October 1996 to February 1997. In response, the Illinois legislature and the FAA strongly opposed the action, and the combined pressure resulted in the reopening of the airport. The airport resumed operations. The understanding was that the facility would remain open until at least 2026, as in 2001, a deal was reached to renew the airport for 25 years. Aviation groups such as the Aircraft Owners and Pilots Association continued to watch the airport. On the fateful night of March 30, 2003, Mayor Richard Daley took a shocking decision. Overnight, he ordered crews to bulldoze Meigs Field's runway and make X-shaped gouges on the tarmac in the middle of the night to ensure no flights could operate. The aircraft that remained on the ground overnight departed from a 3,000-foot taxiway after several weeks. The FAA fined the city $33,000 for closing an airport with a charted instrument approach without giving the required 30-day notice. This was the maximum fine the law allowed at the time. Mayor Daley defended his actions by claiming that the closure was due to safety concerns, in particular after September 11th, and the overnight destruction would save time for court battles. The demolition ensured that Meigs Field would end operations forever and was subsequently converted into a park. In September 2006, the city dropped all legal appeals and agreed to repay the FAA for the $1 million airport improvement program. Since then, there have been attempts to reopen the airport, but all failed. By August 2003, construction crews had finished the demolition of Meigs Field. Northerly Island is now a park that features prairie grasses, strolling paths, and a giant pond. The park also hosts events and concerts. But for many aviation enthusiasts, the memory of Meigs Field lives on as a symbol of what once was and what could have been. The other example of an airport turned into a park is Berlin Tempelhof. But this airport has been closed without a secret overnight operation, although there was much controversy about it as well. That's all for today. Thanks for watching, and please like, comment, and subscribe for more fascinating aviation videos.